Hey guys, if you didn't already know, this podcast contains frank and factual discussions about sexual health, pleasure, and responsibility. So listener discretion is advised.
All right. It is Goody o'clock. Hey, everybody, you're on with a good 15. I am your hostess, Goody Howard, and today we have a question in the Ask Goody mailbox. You guys, okay. This one is awesome. So it says, hey, Goody, I've been to a party or two of yours, and the last co-ed event, I brought my husband. We had amazing sex after your party. I can't wait for the next one. My question is this: how do I bring up having a threesome with my husband? I want to know your professional opinion. Signed, 3 times the charm. Okay. So, 3 times the charm. There are quite a few things that you want to address when you're talking about a threesome with your male partner. So I kind of truncated your email because it was a lot of paragraphs. But essentially, you want to have a threesome with another woman, with your husband, and I think that you are in a good space because you want to have a threesome with another woman. Now, a lot of times when we have a male and female partner, and the female partner wants to have a threesome with another man, it gets a little dicey, and the male partner is often, triggered in some way, I guess. But there are a lot of things that you need to know before we even talk about how to bring it up. You know what? I'm going to reverse that. We're going to talk about how to bring it up first, and then we are going to talk about the things that you kind of need to check off your list before you have the conversation. I think, I don't know what you guys' practices are, if you are poly or if you're open or whatever, or if you've gone to strip clubs together. That's a good intro to, your attraction toward women or your interest in a threesome. Going to the strip club together is a great opener for that. Maybe looking at a video or a show or a movie that has a threesome scene in it. And I couldn't really find a lot of that online, but I know that there's a threesome scene in Insecure, Issa Rae's show, where the guy has a threesome. And then there's some other movies and things that you could probably look up that have threesome scenes in them. Or you can, just make up a scenario and ask him what he thinks about it. You really want to see where his mind is regarding a threesome. Now, when you have that conversation, it's not a problem. You could just, bring it up. Hey, babe, what do you think about this or whatever? And just, casually bring it up. Jokingly almost even, because then you'll get his genuine reaction about how he feels about a threesome. If you bring it up like that's something that you want to do, then he may feel pressure. He may, respond differently than if he thinks it's just, oh, we're having a hypothetical conversation. So then there are a couple of other things that I wanted to talk to you about as far as what you need to do before you even have that conversation. So communication is more important than anything else that you do that whole time during a threesome. It's important. You need to negotiate what sex looks like for you guys, what your expectations are, what your boundaries are, how many condoms you need to have there. Because even if you guys don't use condoms together because you're married, then you still may want to use condoms with the third party, who will heretofore be referred to as the unicorn. So if you want to use condoms with the unicorn, then you kind of have to negotiate that. Is he going to be putting on and taking off condoms all night? Are you going to be putting the condoms on for him, etc.? What are your boundaries and expectations as far as your interaction with the unicorn and his interaction with the unicorn? Is oral sex allowed? Is anal penetration allowed? What is comfortable for you? What is comfortable for him? a lot of times when you enjoy yourself in the threesome, then after the fact, you have to have all these conversations about how you reacted to this, or you like that better, you don't make that noise with me, and things like that. So you really want to have your communication open before you even have the conversation. Like, understand what those things look like for you, your boundaries, your expectations, safe words, perhaps, depending on how kinky you are, location, like where are you thinking about having this? I would never suggest having a threesome at your house. You don't necessarily need to have a threesome at your house. Get a hotel room. That's going to be your best bet, just because you want to have the entire fantasy experience. You don't want to have, depending on how you find your unicorn, you don't necessarily need to know where you live. Just lots of things like that. You need to have expectations on who's going to be the person to, find the unicorn. If you already have someone in mind, who's going to be the person in charge of communicating with the unicorn? Are you both allowed to talk to them after the fact, before the fact, for setup? Are you going to go, excuse me, are you going to go on dates and stuff first to kind of get to know each other? Like, how in-depth do you want this threesome to go? Is it just a one-hit quitter? Y'all fucking for the night and that's it? Or are you trying to bring a third person into your relationship? Like, maybe have a regular unicorn that you interact with, so you kind of want to build a rapport with them. Like, you really need to figure that out. Figure out if you don't have someone in mind, how are you going to go about finding someone? You don't want to be the creepy couple at the club staring at strange women trying to get somebody to come home with you. What is your vetting process going to be? You want to find a unicorn that's looking for the same things that you are. Like, make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. You want to make the process feel like a team. Come up with your rules together, find your third party together, plan the night together. It's not you, having a threesome with your husband and another chick. It's y'all fucking another chick. That's essentially what it looks like. There are a lot of things, you can decide if you want to have, STD testing for your unicorn and all, if you want to get into all the clinical parts of that. But, that's something that you want to be mindful as well. You want to find a unicorn that everyone is attracted to. And that may take a while. You want to make sure that you get a unicorn that you're attracted to and that he's attracted to. And it's going to be dicey because sometimes maybe what he's attracted to isn't what you look like. Maybe what he's attracted to for the purposes of this threesome doesn't look anything like you. And you're going to have to sit with that for a little while. Make sure that you are open and confident in yourself and your connection with your partner. Don't try to do this to try to impress him or try to, win him over after maybe an argument or some sort of bump in the road in your relationship. It's not a birthday present. It's not a Christmas present. Make sure that you're doing this because it's something that you want to do and you're bringing it up for the right reasons, for just exploration, the sake of pleasure, etc. If you're doing this to impress your boyfriend, don't do it. If you're doing this to impress your husband, don't do it. It's not really what's in your heart, and you're going to regret it. It has to be something that you are wholly committed to. Because like I said, when you guys find a unicorn, if she is banging and you like her, you're drawn to her, he's drawn to her, but she don't look shit like you might be in your feelings about that. Be open-minded also. You may be shocked about what you end up enjoying. You may not want to give oral sex to the unicorn, but you might. You never know. So that may be something you enjoy. You may not want to, are you going to put a strap on? Is there going to be sex toys involved? Is there anal sex involved? You have to really figure out what you think you like and not be afraid to try something new, because essentially the threesome in and of itself is trying something new. Let's see what else. The warm-up, the foreplay is very important. So make sure that everyone's compatible, kissing styles, touching styles, things of that nature, so you don't get freaked out when like a strange hand touches you. It's very, very important. Don't forget that everyone involved is a person. So be sensual, be open to everyone that's in the bed or floor or couch or whatever. Don't get too drunk, or high or whatever. You want to make sure that you experience this in a way that you can be responsible because, again, you're having sex with other people. Make sure everyone is involved. You can even, watch game tape. I tell people, watch some threesome porns, watch some threesome. There are threesome instructional videos. YouTube is a hell of a drug. Look up and try to figure out how to have inclusive sex with more than two people so that no one's feeling like a third wheel. Make sure your husband does that too because you don't want to be feeling like a third wheel and it was your idea. Bring sex toys for someone else, so that everyone is being pleasured at any given time. And again, the communication is a big deal. If you're using sex toys, you want to make sure you have enough for everyone. You want to put condoms on them. You want to make sure you have more than enough condoms and lubricant and all kinds of other little things that will make the threesome the most enjoyable that it can be. Don't expect to be the pillow princess. Don't just think that, I'm having a threesome and these two people are going to serve me. No, you have to put in work too, unless that's what you discuss ahead of time. If you are the princess for the night, then that's what it is. But make sure that everyone has had that conversation. Don't pretend like you like it if you don't. If you need to tap out, if you need to walk away, it's perfectly okay to do so. If he needs to walk away, if she needs to walk away, it's okay to just kind of take a break. If you think that something's happening that you're not liking, that's why safe words and communication are so important. So, so important. And then, like, a lot of that stuff, everything is great during the time. You have it one time and then you decide you don't want to do it anymore. You don't have to start having threesomes all the time just because you had a threesome once. You don't have to do that. It's perfectly okay to have a threesome one time and never do it again because you were curious or whatever, and there you go. It's perfectly okay for that to be a thing. Now, the biggest part about threesomes, I have several clients, male clients, mind you, that have had threesomes with their female partners with another woman, that end up losing their woman to the unicorn. Now, I'm not sure why that is. It may be because maybe the guy was a selfish lover in general and the woman was more patient. Maybe it was because the woman wanted to try being in a lesbian relationship for a little while. I'm not sure what it is. But I think that is another reason that communication is so important. You want to make sure that you talk to your partner, that, sex after the threesome with just you and your partner is still amazing and that you're very communicative and loving and talking to each other. Again, figuring out the boundaries of who's talking to the unicorn and who's not, or who, if, everyone is or whatever. It's very, very important. And you want to make sure that you communicate with the unicorn as well what the expectations are because it can get very complicated very quickly. Everyone thinks, a threesome is a great idea. Let's have one. But if you don't communicate and you just go out and just, go to the strip club and get a third wheel, get a third party and have a threesome, the next day you have to unpack all that. You have to have those conversations. And they're not the most comfortable conversations to have if you have not already had a framework set up or a groundwork laid. So I think it's very responsible of you to kind of reach out to me and say, okay, well, how can I have a threesome? How can I bring it up? The best way to bring it up, like I said, bring it up in a joking manner. Find some comedians, find some comedy snippets about threesomes. Find, like I said, a video or a movie or a TV show that's addressing threesomes in some sort of jovial way. And just kind of bring it up and say, how does he feel about that? Or, in a very light manner. You don't want to have a heavy, heavy, heavy conversation off top. Because first you want to even gauge how he feels about it. And then go from there. The other things I was talking about are just things that a lot of people don't think about when they're talking about threesomes, and that's how they tend to complicate the relationship after the threesomes. 1 in 7 Americans has had a threesome in their lifetime. So it's not something that is super, super common, but it's not something that's super, super uncommon. It's important to know what you're getting yourself into when you try to make your fantasies a reality. Some fantasies just need to stay fantasies. Some fantasies can come to life and they change your existence going forward. I personally, people ask me all the time, have I been in threesomes? Have I done it? Would I do it? Blah, blah, blah. I have done it. I have been a unicorn when I did it, meaning that I was the third party. I have never had a threesome within the context of a monogamous relationship. And that's because of all the things I've just discussed just now. I don't want to weigh down the fantasy with all of the work that goes into it. So just really think about if that's something you really want to do. And if it is, girl, go for it. Make sure you bring it up to him in a light way. Figure out how he's feeling about it. And just think about all the things I said as far as communication, as far as attractiveness, as far as involving your partner, safer sex toys, location, how you're going to find this person. All of those things go into making this fantasy a reality. I can't wait to hear how it went. Reach out to me, let me know what happened. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you can reach me at askgoody@gmail.com. You can find me on askgoody.com. You can book me for toy parties, speaking engagements, panelist discussions, oral technique workshops, sex ed workshops, sex trivia. If you want to do a sex trivia night at your house or a dinner party or something, you can book me for all of those things. I also do couples counseling and therapy and consulting. You can reach me at askgoody.com. I am askgoody, ASKGOODY, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. So you guys reach out to me. I'm friendly. I love to, reach out to people and talk to people that talk about the podcast and get your feedback and everything. And that's it for today's episode. I really hope that you guys had a good time. I hope you learned some things. I can't wait to hear what kind of conversations you have at work or with your friends about this episode. And I will have another one for you soon. Until next time, be good or be good at it.